Hello, hello. Welcome to the PG-ish podcast. I'm Erin, a corporate marketing manager by day, podcast host by night, and single mom to 2 young daughters 24/7. In short, PG-ish parenting is the cliff notes to personal growth as a parent. Since those kiddos are always watching and learning from the adults in their life, like you, PG-ish is parenting guidance-ish to support a life worthy of imitating. Welcome and enjoy. Today, you get a solo episode with moi, and I do have a little bit of a cold. It is Maycember, after all, which I just wrote a newsletter about this, so if you're not familiar with Maycember, it's basically the chaos of the holidays in December, in May, because of all the end-of-school year activities. It's just pure chaos, but without all the gifts of the holidays. So here we are. My body is telling me to rest, but I have a fun story and some good tips to share today. So we're going to dive in to some of these pressing issues we face as parents, especially with tweens, which include effective communication, dealing with lying and trust issues, emotional regulation, building resilience in our kids, and some self-care strategies for us parents. And in light of this topic, I'm noting and thanking two of our sponsors, Thrive Market and BetterHelp. Now, if you're not familiar with Thrive Market, it's basically if Whole Foods and Costco had a baby, it would be Thrive Market. And I use Thrive Market all the time. I couldn't live without them. They are an online store on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everyone. You can shop for thousands of the best-selling organic foods and natural products at member-only prices. So whether you're paleo, gluten-free, vegan, or just feeding a family, you can find everything you need and more. So I use Thrive Market primarily to stock my pantry with all of our basic school lunch needs, snacks, supplements, eco-friendly cleaning supplies, and even clean wine. So get 30% off of your first order when you go to thrivemarket.com/PG-ish. And then we'll definitely talk more about BetterHelp later in the episode, but if you're looking for convenient, affordable therapy, BetterHelp is a great option. So if you or your child are experiencing any sort of stress, I encourage you to talk to a licensed therapist. In fact, I believe therapy should be a resource everyone taps into. I do believe that having a neutral party to talk to is, well, therapeutic. And our family has benefited from BetterHelp when wrought with really big emotions to sort through. Prioritizing your mental health and well-being is one of the best things you can do to serve yourself and your family. BetterHelp provides online counseling and therapy services that match you with the most suitable therapist for your situation within 48 hours. So to get the help you deserve, go to betterhelp.com/PG-ish for 10% off of your first month. Okay. I want to dive into this conversation today, but I want to start off with a story. So you've all been there, I'm sure. So to just get this mental image, think of yourself in your own home trying to get your kids to sleep, and it's later than you want it to be, right? So in my home, it happened to be nearly 10 p.m., and my girls are still stirring in a very unhurried attempt to get ready for bed. Ideally, they'd already be fast asleep, giving me a quiet moment to myself, right? But somehow it's later than I'd like because we've all dilly-dallied. And my mom brain, as of late, just can't seem to juggle everything. So many things are falling through the cracks. I'm not even going to go there, but that's just the state I've been in. And in this particular night, I'm also very jet lagged. So I'm not moving fast myself and feeling off in more than one way, emotionally and physically. So here I am from the bottom of the stairs. I'm yelling up the stairs and asking how it's going and why it's taking more than 10 minutes to brush teeth and put on PJs. Please disregard that I should just walk up the stairs and check on them, but I am not doing this in this particular evening. So here I am yelling up the stairs, and although I usually don't snack post-dinner, on this particular night, I just couldn't fight that luteal phase urge to devour all the carbs. And if you know, you know. So as I wait for an answer, I step into my pantry only to see a brown paper bag on the floor. Now, knowing I didn't put it there, I peek inside to find a very mushy burrito. So now my bedtime nagging has immediately turned into a request for a family meeting in the pantry, with my oldest standing next to me nearly eye level, which is just as shocking as this burrito. I ask her why she put this bag with a half-eaten mushy burrito, which she bought at 9 a.m. that morning, in our pantry. And she begins to unravel this story, right, that I can just see is calculating in her brain. And she's telling me that, well, it was in the fridge, but then she thought I'd get mad if it stayed there, so she put it in the pantry. And I'm just staring at her just in utter shock of like, why are we having this conversation at this hour in the evening? And beside that, I was like, there are so many lies happening right now, which was just crazy. And I did know full well that it was never in the fridge because, heck, I would have seen it when I was making dinner or when I peered inside every 20 minutes looking for a snack in the last hour. So I knew it was never there. And I also knew it had been in her school backpack since that morning. And why, for the love of God, would I get mad if she actually put food in the fridge where it belonged? Yet this particular item didn't belong in there because, heck, it needed to be tossed. So in a matter of minutes, my simple questioning turned into a flustered family debate, and the burrito ended up in the trash. So of course, as you can guess, this conversation backfired, and my daughter told me she wanted, normal parents who didn't limit her. I don't know what that really means, but she went there and stomped upstairs. I'm sure that you have been in a particular situation just like this, and you know how quickly things can escalate. So what started as a funny inquiry about a silly burrito turned into a bigger discussion, even an argument about honesty and communication. And I think it goes without saying that communication in any relationship should be clear and kind. We should speak to be understood and ask clarifying questions without judgment, which I know is not always the case with irrational tweens and teens. And I know they're not the only ones irrational, but just putting that in there for right now. And of course, in the heat of the moment, it's easy to forget, but we need to remind ourselves that we're on the same team. And like most things in life, we want our team to win and not to be pitted against each other. And especially for family dynamics, this is important to remember. Now, while effective communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship, I think for us as parents, though, we need to pause a lot more. And I am 100% talking to myself here because I know I can become reactive in less than a millisecond. And to really hear what our kids are saying, we need to actively listen. This means putting the phone down, making eye contact, listening without interrupting, and repeating back what was said to ensure everyone is on the same page. We can also show empathy and validate their feelings, which helps build trust. Because remember, connecting builds trust, and trust builds a safe foundation for sharing and growth. Yet, whether or not that trust is there, which hopefully it is in this family dynamic, when it comes to lying, we really want to understand why our kids might be scared to tell us the truth. So encouraging honesty requires creating a safe environment. Clearly communicating expectations and family values around honesty and communication provides some parameters to work within. But bottom line, none of that's going to work if we overreact, because our reactions set the tone for our interactions with our kids. And you've likely heard this before, but another way to approach these kiddos of ours is asking open-ended questions to draw more out of them. We want to know and encourage them to share more about their thoughts and feelings. Holding one-on-one time with each child, similar to what you might do at work, can change the dynamic of your relationship. Flexing this communication muscle will take time, of course, and a lot of trial and error, but set the expectation that this one-on-one time can be used to talk about anything that they want. And this can look like however you want it to be, right? It could be weekly walks, car rides home from school, hot chocolate dates, whatever you want. Those are just some easy ways to implement those one-on-ones. But in these one-on-ones, you want to assure your kids that they are worthy, they're valued, and heard, so that you ultimately give them more space and willingness to open up. Another trick that I've actually recently implemented was creating a code word for when my girls wanted to tell me something that they may be too scared to share. And this gives them the freedom to prepare me. It gives me the opportunity to be prepared to listen without immediately teaching or disciplining or overreacting. Because I'll say it again, your reactions set the tone for your interactions with your child and the family dynamics at large. And this also feeds into knowing that the stress that you carry has a huge impact on your child's behavior, both in the short and long term. So again, it's important to stay calm and not overreact. And once again, I am not perfect, and these are reminders to me as well, because I know it can be a hard pill to swallow, knowing that your emotional regulation is the linchpin to most of what we're talking about today. And just a little insider knowledge, I do not like to label myself, but I'm going to tell you that I am Portuguese and Irish, and I'm as stubborn as impatient as they come. So yes, I know that is a total cop-out label, but I'm acknowledging that this is an area that I am constantly working on. Kids can be irrational, like I mentioned before, yet so am I at times. So how can you and I keep our blood pressure down in the heat of the moment? Well, it actually starts before you get triggered. Using mindfulness, meditation, and breathing exercises in your daily or weekly routine can alter how you approach any situation in life, not just your kiddos. So short daily practices using apps like Calm or Headspace can help, as can therapy like BetterHelp. But in the heat of the moment when triggered, take a moment to breathe deeply before responding, because this can help prevent reactive outbursts. There is definitely a pause that you can take. Which reminds me of Viktor Frankl's quote that I do not have off the top of my head, but look it up. It's amazing. And I always refer to that of just embracing that pause. Another way to think about the situation is just to assess if in the grand scheme of things, the situation is even worth reacting to, which could be a whole other podcast episode, but I'm just going to throw that out there. To dig deeper, though, into breathing and meditation, do check out episodes 22, 115, 121, 259, and 284. So lots of episodes to refer back to. But another way to work through these triggers is to journal about them. I suggest reflecting on your triggers and responses to better understand your patterns, because being aware and knowing your habits can help to improve your reactions over time. And of course, when eruptions do take place, as they will, give yourself grace. Remember, you're a human with emotions navigating challenges and setbacks. And I truly believe that kiddos need to see all facets of life so that they can learn, basically, and they will learn a lot by observing how you cope. So the true magic happens when these emotions have calmed down, right? So when you're ready, when you have calmed down, when your blood pressure has come down and you are in a calm state, apologize and talk through what happened with your kiddo. This repair building with them is essential to everyone's growth and restoration of trust and love. It's truly how you show your kiddo that they matter. Psychologist and author Rick Hansen says that relationships shrink to the size of the field of repair. And a bid for repair is one of the sweetest and most vulnerable and important kinds of communication that humans offer to each other. It says, you value the relationship. I 100% agree with that. So if you get nothing out of this episode, know that, which I'm going to repeat because it's that good. Repair, so that's after the eruption and the argument, is that you're going to come back and apologize. So that's the repair part. Repair is the most vulnerable and important kind of communication that humans offer each other. And that's where the good stuff is, right? Like lots of hugs and laughter can come in that repair session. But I truly can't say any of this without mentioning self-care. So neglecting self-care can lead to burnout and decreased patience, which none of us want, right? So here are 3 critical aspects of self-care. 1, please prioritize your sleep. Adequate rest, ideally 7 to 9 hours each night, helps to maintain a strong immune system, reduces stress and anxiety, increases focus and decision-making skills, and allows for greater patience, which I think all of us want all of those results, right, of sleep. Check out episodes 41 and 242 to learn more about the importance of sleep. And then second, definitely find time for rejuvenating activities. Just like scheduling those play dates for your kids or going to the doctor, block out time for yourself. Whether it's a weekly yoga class, time to read a book, or going for a walk, make time for it on a regular basis. For me, this looks like going on daily morning walks before my girls get up to not only reset my circadian rhythms by getting light in my eyes first thing, but I will also take time to listen to a daily devotional or just to get my mind right and breathe and reflect, followed by a workout in my living room. Some days I may have to push pause on my girl Jess Sims to make some breakfast for my girls, but ultimately my daughters know that their mama will be throwing some weights around or breathing through some Pilates, and they give me the space to do that because they know that that makes me happy. And then finally, building a support system. Whether it's family, friends, a parenting group, or a therapist, having the support you need and not being afraid to ask for help is crucial. Sharing your experiences, requesting feedback, and delegating tasks when you're feeling overwhelmed is essential. We all want that village in this crazy thing we call parenthood. So let's be that for one another and not be scared to reach out. All of that being said, I still don't know why there was a freaking burrito in my pantry or why some days are just hard and we're completely out of sync. But ultimately, I think that's all okay, right? We all have off days and we all have these tools and tricks in our toolkit to help us get through them. So I do hope that these tools will help you stay on track or get back on track when you find yourself so wildly off course. And fun fact, these aren't just tools for parenting. These are tools you can and should use with any relationship because truly it is a win-win all around. All right, my friend, I've been yakking at you for some time now, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode and are walking away with some actionable steps to support you in navigating effective communication, emotional regulation, and self-care. Links to Thrive Market to stock up your pantry with all sorts of items other than burritos, of course, and BetterHelp online therapy can be found in the show notes. If you find PG-ish helpful, interesting, or encouraging, please share this episode with your bestie, follow PG-ish on your favorite podcast platform, and share on social so that more parents can learn and grow alongside their kiddo like you. See you next time.